All right. We are going to talk about down dog or Adho Mukha. It's a very common yoga pose. If you take a yoga class, you're probably going to go into it multiple times during the class. First up, let's just talk about contraindications. Obviously, carpal tunnel, wrist injuries, shoulder injuries. There's a lot of weight going onto your wrists and shoulders, so probably don't want to be doing that if you have those injuries unless you've okayed it with your healthcare provider. Also, high blood pressure, glaucoma, pregnancy. It is an inversion, so you're going to have, if you're inverted, right, there's going to be more blood flow towards the head. And so that can affect the pressure with glaucoma in the eyes, high blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. So like I said before, check with your healthcare provider. But I will show you, if you've got some wrist injury issues, I'll show you a variation that you can try and see if you like that. So let us set it up. Number one, let's set it up right so we don't hurt ourselves. And number two, so we get some benefit from the pose. Okay, all right. So come to tabletop or all fours. This is how I like to get there. You can get there from plank also. Roll into down dog from plank. I like to get there like this, especially when I'm teaching, because it really, you can talk through where the body parts should be and the alignment cues and stuff. So, okay. All right, so set this up. Let's talk about our knees. Our knees are under our hips, okay? Our wrists are under our shoulders. Our pointer fingers make the number 11, so they're parallel to each other, okay? Spread your fingers wide, and then take that thumb and bring it in just a little bit towards your pointer finger because you don't want to damage that space between your pointer finger and your thumb. All right, okay. Our wrist creases are parallel to the shoulder of the mat, okay? Just check your wrist crease there. Indicates that your arm is rotated appropriately. Okay, we ready? Our arms look good, our knees look good. So what we're gonna do now, let me tell you this before we kick back. If you have the wrist issues, just come onto your forearms like this, and you can do what's called the dolphin pose, which is essentially forearm down dog, okay? So kind of takes all that pressure off of our wrists. All right, I'm gonna go back up though. Okay, all right, ready? Tuck your toes. Take your bum back to your heels, so you're getting a nice stretch in your back body there. From here, use the muscles of your legs just to bring your whole body up, okay? All right, well, let's talk here. You can, depending on how wide you like your stance, you can, walk your hands forward a little bit. You can bring your hands back. Totally your choice, okay? Just walk through it for a minute here and just find what feels nice to you, okay? All right, so we talked about our hands. We got those set up. Now, what do we need to talk about? We need to talk about our feet, okay? Our feet, when we first come into down dog, it's nice just to bend and straighten our knees, bring our heel towards the ground, just to get things warmed up. Now, down dog, you don't have to have your heels into the mat, okay? They just have to be towards the mat, pressing towards the mat, okay? As long as you're doing that, you're good, okay? Your feet should also make the number 11. That means they should be parallel, about hip width apart, okay? Some people like to do down dog with their feet together. I don't. It's too much on my low back, so I tend to widen my stance a little bit, or even widen a little bit more, just to give my low back some love, okay? All right, so we're pressing through the mat with our hands. We've talked about our feet, okay? Let's talk about our knees. Now, knees, depending on what feels good to you, you can have them bent to any extent, okay? But you don't want them locked. We don't want to lock our knees. We want some sort of micro bend in our knees, okay? Just a little bit. It can be a teeny tiny one, okay? All right, so let's go up the body here. We talked about our knees. Little micro bend. Let's talk about our hips. What are our hips doing, okay? The wall behind you, you know where the ceiling meets the wall, that crease. Imagine your hips are pointing to that, okay? Bring them up a little bit. Now, what's our belly doing? Even though we're inverted here, we still need to engage our core. So we need to bring our belly in and up a little bit. So towards the spine, okay? All right, our shoulder blades, press them into our back and down, all right? Okay, what else do we got to talk about? We got to talk about our head and our ears, okay? We need to make some space between our shoulders and our ears. How I like to do that is I just like to bring my head down towards the mat a little bit more, okay? Our arms are next to our ears. We're looking at our toes or our shins. We should not see our heels here, okay? Press it through. Now, as we're pressing, imagine you're pulling the mat apart with your hands and your feet. They're in opposition of each other, okay? Press here. Okay, some great affirmations for down dog. It's fun. It can be a fun pose. You could just do a very playful affirmation. You can do strong, loyalty, empowering. The one I like is, since the heart is above the head, it's an inversion. I like the idea that let the heart lead. It's kind of a fun one to do. So, all right. You guys good? Did we go through the body parts here? Okay, get out of it. Let's come up to our tippy toes, drop our knees down, and let's just roll through a couple cat-cows. Oh, just to bring everything back to center. Okay. All right, guys, that's down dog, Adho Mukha. Have a great day. See ya.